Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Today I want to look at the fact that we're all different, which we know. I mean, everyone has their unique chart, but the difference I want to focus on today is what is read in the chart and to really think about it. Now, we know that what is read is unconscious. In other words, we don't get access to it, and yet it is part of our chart. So how does that work? How does that work? How can you have an awareness gate in something that is read? I mean, how can you be aware of what you're not aware of? So let's have a look and see how that works. If I put my own chart up, and you can see that the channel of the brainwave, the 5720, is red. Now it's an awareness in the 57, awareness of the moment, awareness of what is going on around me. And yet I am not able to have access to that. So how does that work? I mean, it's not like, I'm consciously aware of what I'm about to say when it comes through that channel. It's like an intuition that just flashes through me for a few seconds. I become very alert. And in that moment, something can come out of me. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know where the awareness come from. All I know is that it's there now and I can speak it. So it's the same if I put the 34 connected to it, 34 going into the channel of charisma, again into the 20. My body is unconscious in its busyness. So other people can see that in me. They can see, Richard's always busy. He's not always available for anyone. He's always doing something or other. I don't experience that myself. I am just busy. It's the way I am. It's a natural way that I am. So I get a lot done. But I also am not aware of it while I'm doing it. I'm just in it. So it's something to understand. If you put me into a position where I've got to perform in a fast way. So, for example, if I'm playing table tennis, um, I love it, but I don't have to think about it. It's all in the moment. It's all in the moment, and the body just does it. I don't have to be aware of it. In fact, the more that I let go into the moment, the better it is. It's just being in the flow of moving unconsciously and being aware of what's going on around me. So I witnessed that myself afterwards, but not during it. So other people can witness that in me. But as far as I'm concerned, the body's just moving and I'm going with it. And so this is something that, I've become used to, obviously, being in human design for more than 27 years now. I've seen the way that my body will pick me up and move me. I have an active body. So sometimes, I'll be working away at the computer and then there's this impulse to move and I just follow it. It gives me a break. It takes me out into the garden or it takes me into something else that I want to be busy about. But I didn't know I wanted to be busy about it. The body leads. So when we're talking about the spleen, we can think about it in that way. Let's take it further. Let's look at another chart. And this time I want to look at someone who has a fixed but a completely red throat center. So the throat is where we manifest, where we speak, where we do. Things come out through the throat. And yet this person has no idea what they're going to say. They have a completely unconscious channel of structuring. So they can have a very insightful stream of consciousness, but they're not aware of it as it comes out. In fact, they don't know what they're going to say. It's the same thing with Ra. He never knew what he was going to say. He would make up a title for a course. He would sit down, he would begin, and out would come whatever came out. And often very amusing, I have to say. I'm sure you agree with that. But he didn't know. And this person, they have the 12 and the 4 and the 23. So this is a very individual knowing that will automatically come out of them when they're engaged in conversation. The 16 has this logical taste to it. There's certain things that they really like, certain things they just can't stand, you know, but they don't carry this around with them. It comes out in the moment when something is against their taste or for their taste. The enthusiasm will come out, but there's no self-reflection here. Yes, they have an ajna. Yes, they have a fixed self-reflective consciousness, but it's unconscious. So they're not aware of their own self-reflection. There is, like, you know, sometimes it must have felt for this person like they were just, it was coming through them. It was coming through them and out of them, but they're not in control of it. So how does that work in practice? So let's take the 4323, this channel of structuring, this flow of automatic knowing that comes through when it's read. A few years ago, I was a witness to a loud and aggressive argument between a conscious 4323 and an unconscious 4323. And both of these people were very, very smart, both of them full-on people. And yet, whatever the unconscious could bring out, the one that had it consciously always got the better side of them, always found another way. Same mind, one of them conscious, one of them unconscious. And yet the one that had conscious expression could phrase the words precisely in order to do the most damage, or in order to really pinpoint something that the other one couldn't see in that moment. It was amazing to watch. It was amazing to watch. And no matter what the one with the unconscious mind was trying to come back with, the conscious one would always be there first, would always be there with the next statement to make, with the next accusation to make, or whatever it may be. So that taught me a lot. I mean, it's not like one is better than the other. It's just, and you've got to think about your chart like that. It's not about, oh, this is bad and this is good. You know, it's not about judgment. It's about what actually happens. It's about you witnessing what happens, being aware that you can't witness what happens sometimes if it's unconscious. It comes out and then you get to see what you've said. So when Ra was teaching, he used to say, I'm really grateful to my students because, you know, I get to hear what I know. I don't know what I know until it's expressed, until it comes out. If we go to another awareness center, if we go to the emotional awareness center, so the solar plexus here on the right, it has a motor and an awareness, and the awareness is, you know, has to process through the motor energy. It's something that takes time. You know, emotional people, all emotional people, whether conscious or unconscious, don't really know what they feel about something until they've had time to sit with it, to feel the wave rising and falling, you know, to come to that point of clarity where, yeah, I'm really clear about what it is that I feel. But this is different from the actual awareness of what they feel in the moment. So this person, for example, has a completely red fixed solar plexus. And if we take one of these channels, if we take the 1949, the channel of synthesis, this is the pressure to feel, and highly sensitive, can be at certain times in the wave, a highly sensitive energy that is sensitive to others or not, sensitive to themselves or not. Now, if you've got this conscious, you can be aware of certain things of what you're sensitive about, but unconsciously, no. You know, it's just, leave me alone. You know, I don't want to touch you. Or other times, I need a hug. You know, it can be, you can, if you've got it consciously, you can be more aware. If you've got it unconsciously, you don't know that wave is building in you. You don't know until it's really on top of you. And even then, in this particular chart, this person, when things do come out of them, they don't know what it's going to be. Their emotional system isn't available to them to be conscious of it as it's in the processing. This person also has the 55, again, attached to the root. So there's this pressure to feel, and it can be tied to what they want to eat. It can be tied to whether they feel their spirit has been hurt or not by someone. It can be tied to a feeling of abundance, of how wonderful everything is. It can be highly romantic. There are many things that can come through these channels. However, this particular person is not aware of that. The feelings are all going underneath. So when there's a sudden explosion that comes out of them, they didn't know it was going to come out. They don't. It's something that happens. Now, other people looking at someone with this unconscious emotional system will see it in their expressions, in the way that they move. You know, it'll be shown through the body, but we're not looking at our body. You know, our eyes are looking out. We can't turn around and look in unless we look at a mirror, and it's a completely different thing. While we're actually in the feeling, in this case, other people are picking it up. The energy is still coming out, but they're unaware of what they're putting out. So, of course, people can get upset with a look and or a sound that comes out. So people may react to this person because of the way that they're looking. They may not even be aware of the fact that these feelings are running through them. So it's something to consider. It's really something to consider, both in your own chart and also in those around you. Because despite this wonderful knowledge, there are a lot of people walking around thinking, well, you know, they should be more like me. And, you know, and we're not. We're different. And some things are conscious and some things are unconscious. Some things we cannot be aware of until it comes out of us. So a lot of, I think, arguments and troubles between people was because people are being blamed for something they didn't even know was in them. They didn't even know they were looking like they were looking while they were having a conversation. They didn't know what they were feeling until it's really out. Then they get to see it. And it can surprise them, just as it surprises me the way I move sometimes. You know, I've got very fast reactions in the moment. You know, so if fat is flying out of the frying pan, my body will suddenly move, but I didn't make the body move. It was a pure awareness tied to a response mechanism. It's automatic. So in our relationships with others, you know, don't judge people harshly. You know, if you see they've got something unconscious in them, and it's that you're seeing expressed, they will not be aware of it. They will not be aware of it. The whole point of human design is that it helps us to understand ourselves and others. And you must take into account the fact that some things are red and some things are black. And it's just the way it is. Something to ponder. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little video. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back again very soon with something completely different. Bye-bye for now.